Think about a time when you were just spinning on something and thinking about it, that it actually solved the problem. Oftentimes that doesn't happen. Usually you end up solving the problem when you step away and you walk away from that thing, and then all of a sudden the solution comes right to you, or you talk to somebody and they give you a different perspective on it, and all of a sudden you now have a path forward. Very rarely do you overthink your way into a different future. This will ruin a lot of your life because you're trying to think your way to 100% certainty. You're trying to get clarity on something and be 100% sure before you make a decision and move forward with something, when in reality, you'll never be 100% sure on anything. Welcome back to Be Unafraid podcast. Today, we're talking about the real reason overthinking keeps you stuck in your life. I used to live in my head, telling myself that I was just being careful, but the real truth is that I was scared. I was afraid. I was afraid to fail. I was scared that I wasn't enough, and that thinking cost me a lot of years in my life. Overthinking isn't just a habit. It's how we hide from all the real stuff: fear, regret, self-doubt. But interestingly, the more you think, the more you will feel stuck. So if this sounds like you, then this episode is for you. Today, I'm going to walk you through a simple tool that's helped me break that cycle. It's called the RAIN method. RAIN, RAIN. So let's get into it. Have you ever found yourself replaying old mistakes in your head, hoping that they'll give you a different future? That is a very interesting thing because it is utterly useless. It's the most useless thing that we can do with our time, and it's the most time-wasting thing that we'll ever do in our entire life. But yet we do it every single day and almost every single minute and every single second because we think that looking back at the past and just thinking over and over and over and over again is somehow going to solve your problems now. Think about that for a second and really look back to some of those times that you overthink. And some of you may not have to look very far because you do it every single day. Think about a time when you were just spinning on something and thinking about it, that it actually solved the problem. Oftentimes that doesn't happen. Usually you end up solving the problem when you step away and you walk away from that thing, and then all of a sudden the solution comes right to you, or you talk to somebody and they give you a different perspective on it, and all of a sudden you now have a path forward. Very rarely do you overthink your way into a different future. This will ruin a lot of your life because you're trying to think your way to 100% certainty. You're trying to get clarity on something and be 100% sure before you make a decision and move forward with something, when in reality, you'll never be 100% sure on anything. You'll never have the perfect plan. You'll never have the perfect time. If you find yourself waiting for perfect, then you're never going to do anything. So it's really pointless to get into that loop of overthinking, and you need to start to figure out how to get out of it. And that's something that I struggled with for a very long time because I was waiting until I was ready to act. It was always that feeling of, I will act when I'm ready. I will start when this happens. When I feel like this is when I'm actually going to do this thing. This is when I'm actually going to make this decision. And I found that very rarely do I ever make a decision. I sit on it, I overthink it, I spin it in my head, and then I talk myself out of it and never actually end up doing that thing. And the scary thing about that is you won't ever know what the alternative will ever be. You won't ever know what your life would have turned out to be if you don't do those things and you give up because you're overthinking it. It's a very addictive thing because it gives you a false sense of control. It makes you feel like you're in control. It makes you feel like the thing that you're thinking about, you're choosing to think about that thing, when in reality, it's actually taken over you and it has power over you. And everything about your day is about that thing. Even when you try not to think about that thing that's been spinning in your head, in the back of your head, you still feel it knocking, and it just takes over you completely. The root of it is that you don't trust yourself yet. You don't trust yourself to make a decision, and you don't trust yourself to be wrong because you don't know if you can handle being wrong. Maybe it's because you haven't practiced being wrong before. Maybe it's because you associate being wrong with a negative result and negative connotation. You've been punished for being wrong before. And so you let that take over you and you start to just overthink it because you're trying to find a way to be right. You're trying to find what the decision is going to be that's going to make you right so you can avoid the wrong, which is not a bad way to look at it, but that's not how you need to focus on it all the way. You need to have focus, which is good, but you also need to have overview. That's what this RAIN tool does, this RAIN method. It gives you the overview for you now to be able to focus in on the right parts of your life. So digging into this RAIN method, it's a 4-step method where the R stands for recognize. Recognize what's going on. Understand that something is going on that has changed the way you feel, that has changed your equilibrium and has changed who you were this morning when you woke up and who you are now. Recognize that something has changed. That's the first step. Second step is you accept or acknowledge. You don't try to hide from it. You don't try to run away from it. You don't try to ignore it. You acknowledge that, yes, I am not okay right now. I am overthinking right now. I am spinning this thing that I don't know what it is yet in my head, but I'm going to acknowledge that I'm doing it. I'm going to acknowledge that I'm overthinking. That's the second step. The third step is now to investigate. That's the I in RAIN. It's to investigate. Put on your detective hat and start to think and ask yourself questions. What is this feeling? What is this emotion? What is this overthinking? What is this thought? What today or yesterday or last week triggered this thought in my head and is causing me to have to spin it around over and over and over again? What exactly is that? Ask those questions. Be curious about it. Don't be judgmental yet to say, oh, why am I thinking about this? Why do I overthink? And beat yourself over and over about it. That's not going to solve overthinking, by the way. When you beat yourself up because you're overthinking, it's not going to help you stop overthinking. It's actually going to make it worse. So you need to now investigate that thing with a level of curiosity and really try to understand it. Then the fourth step is N. That is not identifying, and that's understanding that this part of you that overthinks or this part of you that's afraid, this is not who you are as a person. It's not your core. You don't identify with this thing. It's a thing that happens in your head. It's a thought, but you as a person, you're not a scared person. You're not a overthinker. You're not a loser. Whatever thought that you have in your head, it's just a thought. Don't identify with it. It's something that happens, and you just need to recognize that it's there. So taking this RAIN method now, you can apply it to your overthinking. You can apply it to dealing with emotions now. And anytime that you find yourself stuck in this loop and you're going on and on and on and on about it, and you just can't get your mind off of something, you can't make a decision, you can't move on to something, you now need to get that overview that we talked about. So now think of this as an example. You're going on a road trip. Imagine you're going on a road trip. You get in your car, you sit down, you start driving, you get on a highway and you're driving. When you're driving, you're looking at the highway, you're looking at the road. And when you're looking at the road, you're focused on the road and staying within the lanes and making sure that you don't veer off the road or hit anybody. But at the same time, you're also understanding what's happening in your surroundings. So you need both the focus to focus on the lines and the road, but you also need the overview to look beyond, the overview to look to your left and to your right so that you actually don't get lost. So it's the same concept with the RAIN method. When you're so focused on something and you're overthinking something, the RAIN method will give you that overview now to step back from that overthinking and now recognize, first of all, that you're overthinking, that you're thinking about this thing a lot. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge that, yes, Right now, I'm in a loop. I'm in a cycle. I'm overturning something. I'm not at peace. I'm not in harmony. Investigate it. Ask yourself those questions. What happened? Why did it happen? And why do I feel this way? Why do I feel afraid? What about me, about my past, about my circumstances is causing me to feel this thing? And then really take your time to answer that. Then you non-identify and say, okay, these things are happening, these emotions are happening, this overthinking is happening all in my head, but me as a person on my core, I'm still the same and I'm me, and I can move on from this and go into tomorrow and be and feel different. That's what the RAIN tool does. And this tool has helped me really when I catch myself in this loop and cycle of overthinking is I just take a moment to step back. It doesn't even have to take long. Sometimes it takes like 5 minutes to do. Sometimes I'll sit in that and do the RAIN analysis for a lot longer than that. But what it helps me do is break that loop. It helps me really disrupt that loop and introduce something else into that focused level of overthinking that will now give me overview. And then when I get that overview, I'm actually able to make decisions and move forward. So use that RAIN method and comment below on how you are going to use the RAIN method or are using the RAIN method in your life. I'd be curious to know. Overthinking is just one symptom. Low self-esteem is actually the root cause of it. In this next episode right here, I'm going to show you the hidden habits that are keeping you small and keeping your self-esteem low. So check that video out right here and be able to identify those things. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.